Hello, I am Dr. Chandrashekar, founder, coach, and someone deeply curious about what truly lasts. I want to explore the stories behind real impact and to help you uncover what it truly takes to build a meaningful legacy. Together, we'll sit down with visionaries, educators, and change makers, people who have walked the path and shaped lives, not just businesses. Welcome to the Legacy Blueprint. Welcome back to the Legacy Blueprint. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining. And if you have been walking with me since episode number 1, you already know that this is just not a podcast. It's a practice, a space to design your life's intention so that one day your legacy doesn't surprise you, it reflects you. Today's episode is deeply personal, highly reflective, and slightly different than the ones we have seen already. This is not a lecture, this is a mirror. So I want you to find a quiet space. Grab a notebook and a pen, open a notes app in your mobile if not, or just pause and allow your mind to take this particular journey inward. Pause this podcast, grab yourself that notepad and pen or settle down and then we'll get started. Now that you're back, let me talk about this episode. This episode is about vision, about purpose, and about reverse engineering your life to match the legacy you want to leave behind. That's why the title, Design Your Destiny, Reverse Engineering Your Legacy Vision. Because here's the truth. I've come to believe that if you don't design your destiny, your default will define it. So today, I'm going to walk you through a simple, powerful legacy visioning exercise. Let's get started. Exercise number 1. The final chapter first. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself as an 88-year-old. Yes, 88-year-old. Now don't ask me why 88. Just a random number, 88-year-old. And you are sitting at a small gathering in your honor, family members, colleagues, mentees, friends. Someone stands up to speak about you. What do you want them to say? Now, what they will say is not about your job, but about the journey you have had. Not the money you have made, but the mark you have left behind. Now, write down or reflect on that particular prompt for a while. Feel free to pause this particular podcast and answer these questions. Let me help you to get started. Because of this person, I, and then fill in the blanks. Let it come from your heart, not just your ego. Is it believed in myself again? Is it learned how to lead with humility? Is it choose family over fear? These are answers which you can think of, but you can think of something more profound. Write all these answers down in those blanks. This right here, my friend, is your legacy vision in the making. Because what you wrote in those blanks are not just mere words. That is how your friends, your mentees, your colleagues, and your family chooses to believe you, chooses to remember you. All right then, let's move on and let's take the second exercise. And this time, this is about future pacing with feeling. Exercise number 2 is future pacing with feeling. Now that you've captured that end moment, remember you were 88 a while ago, that end moment will now put things into context and perspective. Let's walk it backward now. Ask yourself, what kind of daily life would lead you to get that tribute? What kind of choices, boundaries, relationships, and risks would you require to take to make that sentence come true? That's the art of living today as if the future already knows who you are going to be. Write down on that. These action steps are very important because remember, legacy is not what you leave behind, legacy is what you do daily. Your legacy is hidden in those cute little habits you follow every day. Let me help you with a prompt. If I were already the person that was described by my friend at 88, how would I show up today? That's the prompt. Now start answering. Again, feel free to pause this and then go forward in answering that particular thing. Now, this is where your vision becomes a reality and your behavior becomes your blueprint. Well done. You've come this far, and now let's get into the exercise number 3, your personal design map. Now, this is the culmination. Now, let's translate that vision into intentional design. Write this next phrase at the top of your page. You can take a new page, a fresh page, and write that down. To live my legacy today, I will, full stop. I repeat, to live my legacy today, I will, full stop. And now you list down 3 actions you will start this week to do that. 3 simple actions you will be commencing this week to live your legacy today. Now that you have done it, block 30 minutes for a child who needs your presence. Example. If you have written that as I'll block 30 minutes for a child who needs my presence, or reconnect with a mentee, or say no to a lucrative but misaligned opportunity. You may be wondering, what is he talking? You don't have to always say, I will start these 3 things to live my legacy. You can also think about, I will stop doing these things to live my legacy. That's why I gave you this particular example. I will say no to a misaligned opportunity because it doesn't allow me to live my legacy. Now I'll stop. You have that same question, the 3 things which you want to do this week. Alright then, I'm assuming that you have written those 3 things. Let me share something with you as a personal reflection. Years ago, when I said I wanted my death to be remembered, I didn't know what I meant. But today, after years in education, leadership, and service, I have learned that it was never about death, it was about design. I wanted my life to be so intentional, so aligned with my values that even silence will speak. That's why I created this podcast, to invite you to get that level of clarity and to remind you that your legacy is not something you will figure it out later, it is something you are living right now. So friends, in these 3 exercises, we started with at 88 and then we started looking at what we will do in the week starting now, those 3 conscious actions. What I have tried to pack for you is, if you can reverse engineer your legacy, you are already there because you live every day as part of that design and then you will go forward. So if this episode gave you clarity, sit with it. Return to it next week. Share it with someone you're building alongside. Your life deserves to be led with intention. Not by accident, not by expectation, but by design. This is Dr. Chandrashekar and you are watching The Legacy Blueprint with CSK, where you don't just talk success, we talk significance. Until next time, build people, grow businesses, leave a mark.